All right, so I recently bought a Protein V4, and I've always used a double barrel by JHS almost my entirety of playing guitar since I was like 18 or 19, 20. I don't even remember. I'm old now, so just for context. But I've never played a Protein, just ordered one, played a few gigs with it and rehearsals with it. And this is my honest comparison and thoughts. I've seen a lot of videos between, these two, comparing them and stuff. And I actually don't think they really gave the JHS a sort of proper comparison. And I'll explain why. So first, in my testing, mostly I play, worship gigs or indie and that kind of stuff. So ambient stuff. I'm gonna have my delays and reverbs on. Not as heavy, but I need a real world application for these pedals. So just so you know, I'm going through Bad Cat Era 30 captures on my Quad Cortex Mini by Alter Amp Works. It's in stereo, one left, one right. So I'm gonna show you my clean tone, and then I'm gonna start talking about my signal chain with my comparison between these two. So it's ambient, yes, but we're talking about real world and how I'm going to use these, how these tools will be used with the rest of these tools. I need them to work well together. This is my Gibson SG. It's green, yes, it's green, and it's got Lindy Fralins in it. And so first, let's go with the blue side of the Protein here. Now, I EQ'd as best I could the JHS to match and vice versa. Now, the first thing I hear is this has more low end and less mids, a little more scooped. And that's even with the switch down in the down position on the V4. Tone knob is just a slightly above noon. The tone knob on the JHS, to kind of get it to sound similar, has to be around like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, to have that same high end. So my amps usually run bright, so I don't want a lot of brightness from my pedals. I like the natural brightness from the amp to kind of carry that. So I've tried to make them as close as I could. Both clean up very well when you back off the volume though. So this Protein, it has less of a mid-range. This has more upper mids, I feel like the JHS does. So when you back off and clean it up, your clean signal has more of those mid-ranges. Now, in my real life application, I know I'm talking a lot, but this is a comparison of what I'm hearing. In the mix of my own ears in two different venues at different rehearsals and different Sunday gigs, I wished I had the mid-range in my Protein that the JHS gave. And I found myself dialing it to be a little more warmer and making it a little louder to try to get that. So it kind of did the same thing. And I don't know if that's just my preference or my ears, but that's what I learned that I needed in the moment. So that's the blue side for you. Now let's go to the green side. Okay. So the green side, it's hard to tell where the knobs are because I'm behind it and I'm not very tall. They're slightly above noon, and so is the tone knob, yeah. I have it at a thick setting because that's what I like. I like to have it to be like a good stage 2.5 type of drive. Now I've got the tone knob on the JHS, the moonshine side here, turned up to like, I don't know, what's that, 5, 6, 6, 7 around there, you know? Because it's a naturally darker circuit. I got the proof switch up that opens up the mid-range in a little bit more transparent kind of thing going on, similar to the Noble's side on the Protein. So I don't think anyone's tested the moonshine in this manner against the Noble's side for that fair comparison. So we're gonna hear some more sound samples here. Again, more of a sort of scooped situation, I feel like. Now, in these sound samples and comparisons, they're two totally different circuits. So this is mid-rangey because it's got that low mid hump. I turned the tone knob really high up to kind of open it up a lot more, and that's a really pleasurable sound. It's a funny word, but that's a really nice sound. The Noble side, personally, I'm having a little bit of trouble meshing with it because there's something missing in the mid-range that allows me to hear what's happening more than just the top end sizzle. I hear the top end sizzle, but in the mix, as far as, you know, in the context of my mix, but I have to turn it up louder to kind of hear, okay, that's, you know, I'm trying to maintain a mid-range clarity, not just the top end, high end sizzle kind of clarity as well. So there's a balance to be struck there for sure. What I'm finding is, again, it's actually really nice. There's just something missing in the mid-range that I wish was there. And I feel like I'm the odd one out when I say that, because I feel like the internet prefers the Protein. But in my typical use of live playing, I need the mid-range clarity that I used to have to be able to kind of have a distinction between licks or notes or something. Not all of the clarity, in my opinion, I guess, I just want top-end clarity, sizzle, and yes, note separation is important. But if there's some mid-range that's missing, I don't know if it's like 1K or 1.5K or somewhere in there, but if that mid-range is not there, you're just gonna have a thumpy sizzle. And I feel like that's what I have with the Protein, unless I turn the tone knobs down and turn the level up, which I could do, but I've tried that and I kind of have a similar result. So just my personal observations. Again, I'm using the Bad Cat Era 30 captures, and they're at edge of breakup, you know, very slightly edge of breakup. I'd say like the tip of breakup, if I could even say that. So I just wanted to make a detailed comparison, and I know this isn't one of those just play, shut up and play kind of videos, but I'm too analytical and I have to talk through my mindset and my thought processes. So I'm going to go through the sounds again of how I use these and just have another, you know, for the end of the video, final comparison here. Clean tone. Okay, let's go with the protein first. You know, for the fun of it, let's test out both stacked. Lots of delay, lots of reverb, lots of gain. They're both fantastic pedals. The Protein is absolutely fantastic. I cannot pretend like it's not a good pedal. It is amazing. And in some ways, I almost sometimes prefer the Protein when I'm playing here by myself and I'm just wanting to hear a pleasant guitar tone when I'm just looping things and just kind of, you know, you get lost in all the ambience and you just start noodling. But in a real application with a live band and the sound guy and everything, 9 times out of 10, the sound guy is probably going to scoop your lower mids a little bit to stop fighting with the bass and some of the synths and the tracks, stuff like that. And if the Protein lacks some of that 1K kind of clarity that this provides, you're just gonna hear some sizzle and that's it, you know? So depending on your sound guy, depending on, you know, that's, I guess that's why to each their own, because different people, different venues, different gigs. But I I'm gonna have to go back to my double barrel. And I wanted to like the protein. I wanted to jump on the bandwagon, and hey, Browne application, if you're watching this video, I love y'all. You guys are awesome. This is a fantastic pedal. I wish I could try like an ethane, or what was that? How do you say it? The one with the blues breaker and the gridador. I wish I could try some of the other stuff, but pedals are expensive too sometimes. You can't always try everything. So I'm gonna have to go back to my tried and true JHS double barrel. And it's nice to have those tools available. It's nice to be able to test stuff out when I can. And I wanted to make this video because I have not been able to try a protein until recently. You don't always have a tons of expense money to just grab stuff. And I know it looks like I got a fancy setup here, but a lot of it was basic necessity type stuff for the gig, but or endorsements. But I'm gonna go back to the JHS. I love my JHS. It's kind of been sort of my core sound forever. The protein is fantastic. I just can't mesh with it. So let me know what you guys think. Would love to hear your thoughts on why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, convince me otherwise. But yeah, that's just my observations. I wish the protein had a little bit more of that mid-range, but it's possible that that's part of its recipe, and different strokes for different folks. If that's why there's different flavors of ice cream, right? You go to pick whatever you want. So anyway, much love, guys. Like and sub. I hope this wasn't too boring.